What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video. Been some time since I put some content up, but I've got such a backlog that we can just get right on rolling from where we were at before. We're over here benching again, taking advantage of every bench day that we can. And if you see that ghost can there, you know what's up. So stay tuned for that. But working our way back up on bench, going nice and slow. And just kind of relearning, not the form, but like the motion, keeping everything nice and healthy, nice and tight, and really just trying to get back to where we were before. Strength is still there, that stuff's never going to really go away. Just got to build our confidence back so that we can start training consistently again. So, feels good to be able to put the red back on there, and just have to get comfortable with the form, like I said. You know, we're going to do the close grip and the wide grip, and any sort of pressing movement, we're going to have to just slowly but surely just kind of chip away and get to where we want to be. So 176 here, which is decent, which is, you know, not horrible. I want to start getting back up in the 200s again, which we'll be at. And everything else is just a little extra here, so just have to really learn you know, that descent when I'm benching. I think that's probably the hardest part to learn once you've been away from it for so long. The pressing power is really there. Once you load everything, you know, you're squatting, you're doing all your other lifts, you're really exploding and able to do what you need to do. So you really just have to coordinate that all together. Make sure that form and everything else is solid and good to go. And really just time is all you can really bank on here, just kind of learning everything again here. So OHP definitely moving well. I remember when this bar was hard to do the 45 pound with, and it was like, wow. So this is all progress here, even if it's incremental, but consistency over everything, and just kind of rebuild what we've got. I mean, that's the whole theme of the series here. And you're gonna notice some struggle on these heavier sets, just from, you know, the different weights and stuff. Each week it feels hard when I do those weights, and then the next time I come back it's pretty easy. So just want to emphasize that. Just because it feels difficult at one point doesn't mean it won't get any easier, and I'm totally okay with that. So, you know, that's lifting for you. If you take some time away, whether you're injured or not, it's going to take some time to get back to where you were. That's why I'd rather train consistently over time than go balls to the wall, injure yourself, and then have to work your way back, because that is not fun and not a good time. Incline dumbbell bench here. Just really doing all the things that I did to build up my bench to where it originally was. Hypertrophy, greater range of motion with the dumbbells, and then also just extra work to be able to, you know, get that time under tension, but also kind of focus on that range of motion. So I have to relearn how to sit on a bench on incline, because for some reason this felt comfortable, and I'm going to have to relearn that. But, you know, we just collapsed down on it. Pretty funny. Anyway, a couple different angles. I just really want to show people kind of the update on the range of motion. You know, when I first started doing this, I honestly felt like I could not bring my arm down to the point where it was, and you just have to keep going through those motions with the body, and eventually it will adapt. Same thing with the overhead press, whether it's dumbbell or barbell. This is probably the hardest movement that I've had to learn, or relearn actually. And honestly, that's fine. It kind of keeps you humble. It keeps you from injuring yourself, and ultimately just reminds you to, you know, be safe, watch that form, take your time, so you don't jump too far ahead and injure something or re-injure something. But just want everyone to see the progress here. And then obviously doing our lateral raises. I'm thinking of switching completely to cables, just because there's an upper limit with how much weight you can use, especially when you want to go light. You know, once you start getting to the 20-pound lateral raises with strict form, it gets kind of difficult. So unless you're somebody exceptionally strong at these, you know, your upper range is really, you know, maybe 20, 30 pounds or whatever. So if you're so far away from those heavier lifts, there's only so much more you can go. But we want to hit everything here, so doing some real adult stuff. I'll sometimes do these with the cables depending how busy the gym is. You can do like dual cables or you can do a single. It just really depends on what you want to work on, what variety kind of keeps you interested. So choose accordingly. And going into squats here. So you can see by the pins here, anytime we got the pin set up, we're doing our Hatfields. And I'm really liking this movement. It's allowing me to feel the heavier weights and get the work in. I try to minimize the amount of upper body, work that I'm doing on the squat. But this just allows me to acclimate to heavier weights, and it's different. I'm honestly kind of sick and tired of just doing straight bar or just the straight SSB. Squatting is not my force not my strongest lift in any way or form. So being able to create some sort of variation and get work in has helped me immensely, especially with putting more mass on my legs and just getting stronger overall. I'm so top heavy, it's actually ridiculous. It just kind of offsets everything, and I think my balance is honestly thrown off and not great because I'm so top heavy. I think it just tips everything forward, no pun intended. So like I've got these long femurs and no torso, so it's I fought it most of my lifting, I don't want to say career, but most of my lifting hobby career, where things just didn't make sense, or they did for a while, and I could never figure out why. So I feel like I've got immense power. If I could find a way to squat that really benefits me, I feel like there's just so much potential there. I just have so much power. But it's the balance, because you can see here in this angle, I like to squat ATG or as low as I can go, and it's the coming out of the hole. So being able to stabilize coming out of the hole with my upper body, just really helps make that trajectory more efficient and less waste. So, you're supposed to be able to kind of get that little nuance with this lift. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to kind of overload this and then just see how it affects the actual, when I'm just doing the SSB squat. So that will be interesting to see. And these sweatpants are starting to get tight. I was starting to feel tension in the bottom of the hole here. Just, I might have to switch back to leggings, at least for these colder months. It's just smoother on the movement here. But overall, happy with how these look. I just have to start progressively getting heavier with these. And I was worried when I first started doing them that, oh man, I don't know how to balance that weight. It feels really weird. And then I got it, and it was a good old time, so happy about that. Sumo deadlifts here using the Versa grips, and this is my preferred way to do sumo. It just allows less windmilling and things getting caught up when you're sumo pulling. So at least for now, this is honestly one of the first times that I've deadlifted with these sweatpants, and I usually use leggings, so it's slick. Unfortunate angle here, but I'm going to show it anyway, just so people can see. Really a narrow sumo stance. I've never been a big believer in wide sumo. I feel like it throws my center of gravity off, and I just feel a little bit more powerful here. Everyone's different though, but no risk of crushing your toes. Belt squat as usual. And I'm just realizing now that we were sumo deadlifting with the ollies on, which I don't know why I did not take them off. I know I wanted to try them on the Hatfield to see how that went, but I guess I just kept them on, didn't want to change. Usually I'll squat with the flats, but a lot more torque on the shins and the knee, honestly. Ollie lifters just allow you that little extra, ability to be able to sit into the hole easier. It just kind of reduces that angle. So less tension, you can sit back, be more upright, just more efficient, at least for me. Not everyone's going to get that if you're somebody with like a pretty balanced upper and lower body, or if you've got a long torso, it would be super beneficial to you. Helps you stay more upright in a squat. You can definitely do more on the squat there. Low bar, not so much. I feel like it pitches you too far forward. But high bar, almost invaluable. And I don't know, been still messing around with the belt squat to see where exactly I like to do the range of motion, but we're still working on that. And then this, I don't know why I decided to keep the lifters on for this. This is super quad focused, especially with heel, which is not the goal of these. The goal of these is more the hamstring, the glutes, and yeah, I don't know. I was just too lazy to take the shoes off, which reminds me, I do have to relace my Vans. I have those like spandex type of laces where you can like put them on, so I've got to focus on that. But one thing I do like about these lifters though is they feel super stable, and they allow like a nice nook to do anything that's like a curl or like a leg extension. So maybe that was my goal, was to just kind of test it out, but not a bad time. Same motions again, over and over again, just getting into the swing of things, doing the unilateral work, so we've got a little bit more balance on both ends. And same old. What else can I say? Unilateral stuff is probably gonna end on the leg extensions. The way this machine is built, you can see the distance with the right leg and the left leg. It's just not the same. It's too much stress on my left leg. So definitely gonna just start doing them together. I feel like might be better. If I want to do unilateral quad work, I'll probably just do like Bulgarians or whatever. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.